what we discussed about the flow of a Java program. So what are the different stages of Java program? So what are the different types of extensions we have used? So what is .java? What is .class file? So what contain in .java file, and for whom .class file we have executed that. Yesterday we have seen so the difference. After that, we have seen how to write a program in IDE. How can we configure the project in the IDE integrated development environment where it allows in and out. So you can create a project, you can create a program, you can execute the program, you can check the program, everything in the same environment, like instead of coming out. So that is an integrated, that's what we call it as integrated is, so you can write a program and you can execute the program there itself, and you can just cross check if any error is going on output also. That's the reason we call that as an environment. Okay, integrated is nothing but multiple components involved there to design the application. After that, we have seen how can we compile. So what are the stages to execute the Java program? So as I said, we use both compiler and interpreter to execute any Java program. So compiler is for to compile the Java program. So whenever we execute the Java program, so this is the commands we are using. So this is for compilation, like Java C is a tool basically which will provide along with the JDK, so which will compiles the program. So when I say compile, so your .java file is converted to .class file. We have seen how .class file is generated and what exactly are available content available in the .class file. Okay, from .class file to machine language instructions, and if I need to see the output, this is the command we need to execute, Java file name. So we have seen how to execute. So today, what we can see, today we can just discuss more on a component level. Component level is nothing but, so when you create any Java program, so you have written some kind of a steps. So now whenever you are running, so internally, what are the components supporting Java, so that you can see the output. Now application is executing successfully. Okay, so we'll see the more on component level. So let us try to understand some of the terminologies which we need to use or which we will use regularly in upcoming sessions. Okay, so yeah, JDK. So this stands for Java Development Kit. JRE. So stands for Java Runtime Environment. Now JVM, yesterday we have seen, okay, Java Virtual Machine. These are all the three components which will drive your total program flow, whether that is whatever the program. So you have designed the program. Now you want to execute the program. So whenever you execute your program, so now how these multiple components will interact with your program internally, and how can it take forward so that you will get the expected, like whatever you are expecting the output, as you have followed everything like syntax, naming conventions, no errors, like whether that is a logical error or a syntax error, you will get some kind of end, like whether that is a positive or negative. So you will get anything. So error also you will get a message. Now you don't have any error in the program, you will get an output, but some response you are getting. That is important here. How that response is generating for your program, that is important. Let us see this. So now JDK, as I mentioned, this is a Java development kit, is basically it's a software development environment basically. Okay, so it's a kit. So when I say kit, multiple components. Okay, so now let me just open the IDE as well parallelly. Okay, this is this which we have discussed yesterday. So meanwhile, let us just go back and let us try to understand here. Now, what is this JDK? Basically, you see, right? JDK, as I mentioned, Java Development Kit is nothing but one bundle. So yesterday I have shown like how to download and how to execute the Java in your machine. So when you extract that downloaded file and when you double click and when you install the project and when you set the same project structure in your IDE, so what are the components you can get from the software is like this one. So first we will call that as a JDK, Java Development Kit. Name itself tells kit. So the meaning of that kit is nothing but it will provide, now the software development kit. So it will provide a list of components or resources which helps developers to design or develop web applications. So now what are the components here? You see, right? So JVM plus class libraries. We have seen that yesterday. So whenever we compile the program, so what happens? So our .java file converted to .class file, so which contains bytecode instructions. So how are we doing? So with the help of Java C, you see, right? How with the help of compiler. So what is the compiler tool we are using? We are using a Java C. So Java C is a tool. So now let me just open. Yesterday I have shown the same thing. Let me just expand this. So when you expand this, now you will get multiple components like Java compiler. This is for example, but the same thing like this. So these are all the multiple components which which it is coming as part of your JDK. Okay. So now JDK, you see, right? The name itself, JDK. It will come along with your uh, software whenever you will download and when you will install. These are the resources which will require whenever you require the exam. So we are not getting any error. Okay, we are not getting error. So now if I give, because we have followed a proper naming conventions which is important and compatible with your Java. So now what I will do, I will just write like this. Hello dot. Okay. Good. I'm just writing like this. So what is this? What is this? So now you see, right? So I don't know what is this basically. Hello. This is a user defined, so which I have typed. Okay. So now no one knows like what is like whether the programmer don't know whether this is a variable or any component or anything the way how we have written. Like this is a component. So this will work with the Java. So now this I have written randomly. Okay. So now even I'll just write like this. So now you see, right? So we are giving, let me just remove this one. So now let me remove this one also. So just type it like this. So now how are we getting indirectly or internally this color? So when I place the cursor here, so we are getting some kind of a, you see, right? Some kind of a documentation. Documentation is nothing but some kind of a description. What is about? So this is a system. So kit, Java development kit is giving some kind of a documentation is, so what is the system basically here? So what is the role or what is the job of the system here? We are getting some kind of a documentation. How is this possible is because of this. Because of this. You see, right? Java doc. In the sense, inbuilt class. When I say inbuilt class, whatever the classes and whatever the components we are using Java, this will provide. JDK will provide everything to the programmers or the designers if they want to use Java. So from there, they can utilize this thing. This thing. So now if I place a cursor here, now what you are getting, so that's what. So you are getting some kind of a documentation, whether that is a positive or negative, ignore about that. But when you are placing the cursor, so you are getting something. So cannot resolve symbol. Hello. System is trying to understand what does it mean by. So whether this is an inbuilt step or user defined step. So if it is a user defined, so the programmer has not followed any proper conventions. That's the reason system is not available. So now if I go here, now you see, so cannot resolve symbol. So now it is so dark, little bit gray in the sense system itself not able to recognize this. You see, right? Dot expected, meaning this. So this is nothing but your terminated statement. The meaning of this is nothing but, so the colon gives the information that this is statement, whatever the statement you have written ends here, ends here. So this is a terminator statement we can say. So now even if I place the cursor, so I'm getting some kind of a documentation. So that is important for us. So now where is this? This. So as part of the JDK, so these are all the components it will come. So now JRE is nothing but runtime environment. It will come along with this one. So when you install JDK, all these components automatically come as part of the software. Okay, so now compiler we have seen, debugger we'll see in upcoming sessions. So we'll see like how can we debug a program. For example, if I want to perform some calculations, so arithmetic operations I need to perform. So when I say arithmetic operations, so I want to perform addition, I want to perform subtraction, or I want to check whether. So let me. I need to apply for a government portal or government identification card, or I need to apply a driving license, for example. So we will design one program where we will pass the name and the age as an input. Okay, our program will check whether I am eligible for the government identification card, whether I am not, again, when I say eligible or not. Okay, so now how can we do that? How can we pass the value to check that output? So if I'm above 18, yes, I'm eligible. If I'm below 18, I'm not eligible, because we have some terms and conditions to follow. So we will write a program and we will see, we will debug first, and we will see how the values will populate. First of all, why debugger is required, why debugger is important in real time for all the programmers who are designing their own programs. So this is not only a program. So whenever you are verifying the applications, so now, so in Java EE also, so we will see multiple classes we will write. So one variable or one value will pass entire different classes. Let's say I have written 4 5 classes. Okay, I'm just giving example. So 4 to 5 classes I have written. That 4 to 5 classes will give or will be dependent on one application only. Okay, but there is a module wise. So now what I will do is nothing but I will create only one variable in one class. But the value of that variable is important for me. It need to travel in entire classes, in the sense in different classes also. We will see there. So how this debugger help us to debug and identify, so which variable we are using in which area. So what is the role of that value if I am calling the same thing in other class. So this is a debugger. Again, debugger is one of the component we can say, or one of the tool which helps programmer to debug. What does it mean by debug? The meaning of debug is investigate, identify the flow of your program. So how the values are flowing, whether you are following the correct path or not, this helps us. This helps us debugger. We'll see that. Okay. So now again, these class libraries, as I mentioned, so these are the class libraries which helps us to drive smoothly whenever I want to execute the program. So you see, we have written a wrong way. IDE is identified, you see. So something is wrong here. Something is wrong. So when I place the cursor here, so you see, right? So these are all the symbol. So last point, hello, good morning, we have written. So we don't know whether that is a programming statement or a generic statement, or we are trying to explain something in terms of a program. No one knows. Even I also don't know. So simply I have written. I'm just checking whether Java will support these statements or not. So you see, expected. Now cannot resolve symbol. Now cannot resolve symbol. Variable good is never used. So some kind of a documentation you are getting. So that is nothing but who will provide all those things is nothing but your Java development kit will provide, which is a bundle, software bundle, provides the requirements where you can design a program, run a program, again like compile a program or execute a program. Okay. So it gives one kind of an environment where you can play with the software. Now this is about JDK, okay? Java Development Kit, Java Virtual Machine, Java Runtime Environment. So let us see what is Java Runtime Environment. Okay, so whenever you execute a program, what is the role? So the name itself tells you, see, right? Java Runtime Environment, runtime. Okay, so now we have seen this thing. So now let me just clear this. I don't want to take this one. So okay, so now let me just take this. So let us see. So what is Java runtime environment? What are the components? So yesterday we have seen, so After writing this source code, we discussed about the multiple stages first of all. Okay. So now before going to that, we will just show what is the multiple stages. First, we have written source code, which is .java. So compiled the program using Java C file name .java. So it generates the dot class file. So till here, no JRE will come. Only from here only JRE will come internally. So now what are we doing? Once bytecode instructions we got from dot class file. Now the next step is from dot class file to machine. So main motto for any program is system should understand your program and it should generate the result, whether that is error result or a positive result, some kind of a response it should get. So if system is able to provide the response to you, meaning that you are following the right path, you are utilizing the components proper way. So the same thing yesterday we have seen. So now once we compile the class, once we compile the program, so we got the dot class file. So next step is take that dot class file, which contains bytecode instructions. Now convert that bytecode instructions to machine language instructions. Why machine language instructions? Because system will know or system knows only one programming language, which is nothing but machine language instructions. And again, like what is machine language instructions? Which contains purely zeros and ones, bits and bytes. Okay, that is the reason we are doing. So now come back here. Now we have seen here, one second. So now we have seen these are the commands to run the program. So this is for compiler. Now this is for run. So now let us write. So whenever we run the program, so what are the components internally Java will use? Let us see this. Now you see, so Java runtime environment. So whenever you are trying to run, so when I'm running this program, so now you see, right? So when I'm running this program, I'm just giving a right click here. So two ways I have shown yesterday. One is you can directly give a try here. So run your program. Okay. Now, if you don't want to run this, so now from terminal also, you can able to execute that. From terminal, you can able to execute that. So source, you can call Java C file name.java, Java execute. But when you are running this program, so we will not able to identify. So now I'm just giving a try. I'm just running this program. Okay. You see. So you see here, some process is going on here. Some process is going on. Now you're getting some output here. So now how are we getting the output? It doesn't take much time. And again, like you cannot realize in standalone programs, it is so fast because there is nothing to verify here. First of all, just print the statements. Now come back. Now you see, so class loader. So we discussed the same thing here in JDK also. So what does it mean by class loader? So if I say here, it will be the important. So class library. So now here class loader. So what does it mean by class loader? Name itself tells loads the class. What does it mean by loads the class? So what is the class? Now this is the class. This is the class. So first dot class. So now you are running your program. So first it cross checks whether dot class file is generated or not. Generated or not. So now what I will do here. Now I will just make a note. So let me just go back here, terminal. Okay. So now I will just remove this. Okay. Delete this. Delete it. Now delete it. So delete the file. Now let me just go back and let me add some file here. Okay, I'm just adding some file. So now discussion is going on the flow. Okay. Now architecture. Architecture. We are discussing about the multiple layers and components of the output. So first I have designed. First I have added one more step. Now what I will do. So now let me just save this program. Now let me just take ls I have given. Okay, ls. So now it is able to recognize. So we have one file. So now instead of compile, okay, instead of compile, so what I will do, I will just run the program. Okay, so now I have not used this step. So this step basically will generate dot class file. Now what we will do, let us run the program directly. Java file name, copy this Java file name No extension is required. So now paste this. Okay, so we have added one more step, not compiled. So when I say not compiled, we have not generated dot class file. Now click on this. Now you see what happens here. So you see, could not find or load main class, whatever the class name we have used. So what does it mean? Could not find or load main class. Come back here with architecture. Hmm. Now come back, Java runtime environment. Meaning is class loader. So if you want to run the program, so dot class file is important. So you will not recognize when you run this program because IDE is take caring. IDE is take care. So now if I run this program from here, what it will do? IDE integrated like this. IDE will automatically compile your program, generate the dot class file, and give the output. We cannot see the difference, but when we follow the terminal like these statements, we can able to understand what is which component will come and how the component is working internally. So now by saying this, could not find or load. So you see, right, we don't have any dot class file, but as per our discussion, so dot class file is important because from dot class file only component will convert to machine language instructions and we will get the error. So we will get the output. So now come back. So class loader, what does it mean by class loader? Whatever the program we have. So this is a module basically. Class loader is a module which is responsible, which is responsible, which is responsible to load the class and try to understand bytecode instructions. Try to understand bytecode instructions. So now you see, right, class loader bytecode verified. Bytecode verified is nothing but whatever the class we have written. So now let me just, now I'll compile here. Let us see. We don't have any dot class file, right? So now let me just follow. So I read this, could not find or load main class. Okay. So by seeing this, let me compile the program. So now I'll just take this java c dot java c first basic dot java. Okay, so hit it. Now what happened? So we got one dot class file. So come back here. So now here what happens? So now we loaded a class. So whenever we compile our program, automatically this component will take that dot class file. It will cross check. It will cross check. Cross check is nothing but bytecode verifier. We explained. So what is dot class file? Dot class file contains bytecode instructions, which is equal to source code we have written. So it will cross check whether dot class file is having the code equivalent to source code or not, everything. Parsing, we can say this is parsing. Parsing is nothing but verifying the file. Now, interpreter. So what does it mean by interpreter? Interpreter is also one of the tool or a component which helps to run your program. So this is a command. So now what I'm trying to do, so now you can just execute this. So now when you hit this, what happens? So whatever the statement we have added recently, along with the previous statements, everything it fetched. So now what happens here? So interpreter identifies, again, interpreter converts whatever the statements we have written during the execution. Now this is the runtime. So when I say runtime, this is a command. We are running the program. We are running whenever I'm running the program, this command should understand the resource. Resource. When I say resource, this is the component we are talking. This command should understand. That's why we are getting all these details. So you see, right, we are getting only this, not whole. You see, right, again this is very important. So when we are running this, what is the output we are getting? So system.out.println, whatever we have written in double quotes, only that is printing, because that is the output what we are expecting. It's not like that. Printing is nothing but it should not print whole the things. Okay, so you see, right, in output, I'm not able to see this one. I'm not able to see main. I'm not able to see out println. I'm able to see only the statements which we have written in double quotes, because this is an output which we are expecting from this program. Who are doing? This is runtime. Okay, so whenever you are passing the command like Java file name, okay, one of the component or one of the layer from JRE will pitch in and will execute that. Now, but to all these components should work properly, who is the main role playing? Hardware. So when I say hardware, combination of your operating system and processor. So meaning this hardware is nothing but your OS. So your systems should support, no? So operating system, like when you say this, so your system should have proper OS, not proper processors. Your system should up. It should allow the softwares to install successfully without any issues. It should allow to write a program. So finally, we are executing this program in one of the PC, when one of the in one of the platform. So when I say one of the platform, combination of operating system and microprocessor. Now I am running this program in Mac OS with Intel processor. So that is nothing but hardware. Now this hardware is allowing me two things, allowing me to install the software, allowing me to write a program, I mean develop the program, allowing me to execute the same thing. So this is about runtime environment. Okay, these are all the components. Whenever you run the program, so from where it will start is, so now if I see right, I have written here JRE, from where it will exit, because again, JRE, JDK both are different. This is outside of the component. Okay, so when it will come is nothing but when you compile the program and it generates the dot class file, then only it starts the execution. You see, right? Runtime. Runtime environment will come only when you have a dot class file which has bytecode instructions. Any queries still here? Okay. I can take it as no. Now let us go back. So now let us go back. So Java development kit we have seen. So what are the tools? Like what does it mean basically? So how it will support? Now Java runtime environment. What are the components we are using? Now next thing is Java virtual machine. So now again, this we can say it's a heart of the Java execution process, we can say. So Java virtual machine. Let us go back. So whenever you are running the program, so JVM will use JRE components also. Okay, so let us see this. So go back here. Now this is our JVM architecture components. JVM architecture components. These are all. So I'll just give 1 minute so you can just have a look of this. After that, I'll just explain. So you see, these are the components basically. What is this? Now JRE, JVM, all are runtime only. So who is the main pillar here? Class file. Class file. So as I mentioned, JVM is not a machine. It is a program responsible to take your dot class file and convert the dot class file to machine language instructions. This is what. But taking the dot class file, converting the machine language instructions internally, JVM, how and what are the components it will use internally. So now you see, right? So dot class file. So dot class file, you see, right? So whenever a program, like again, compiler generates a dot class file, JVM will take the dot class file, loads to load. So you see, right? Load to class loader subsystem. As I mentioned, class loader subsystem is a module. Okay, so the main responsible of this class loader subsystem is take the dot class file, parse the dot class file. When I say parse, verify the bytecode instructions available in the dot class file. So now again, post verification, we can see, right? Post verification. So how it will allot the memory internally, how it will be allot. So what are the components it will take before converting to machine language instructions? You see, right? How the memory allocation will be happen. JVM will depend upon these runtime data areas to store your program, to store your program. So now let us take, so home is the best example here, home. So now you see, right, home, if we take any home, we cannot take only one room, right? So we have multiple rooms which is having their own definition and their own work. So for example, if we take kitchen, so kitchen is specifically related for dedicated items. Okay, so now if you want to keep your like refrigerator, oven, so like household activities, Now again, if you take hall or master bedroom, so they're having some kind of a resources dedicated to, like that. Even if you are taking single program, Java virtual machine like JVM, what it will do, it will divide your program into multiple areas. So for example, method area, so technically we'll explain. So whenever I will just dig into this program. So now what are this? So what is a program basically? A program which is having multiple layers. For example, data types, methods, variables, okay, group of collection data also. Now class we have, object we have, multiple components we have in any program. Okay, so now how JVM will segregate that? How JVM will allot the memory is this one. So class loader subsystem, once JVM loads the dot class file, process is completed. Second step is memory allocation. How it will memory allocated? It will use these kind of a data resources. For example, method area. So what is the role of method area here? Method area is one of the memory block. So runtime data areas. When I say runtime data areas, this is nothing but memory blocks, which is responsible to store the data. So now you see method area. So method area is a memory block which stores your class code. Class code. When I say class code, entire class code, it will store. For example, when I say class code, so as I said, no, variables, methods, everything it will store. Now, second, heap. Basically, what is a heap? Heap is nothing but, so yesterday we have said Java is a pure object-oriented programming language. Okay, so now we need to write Java program using class and object concept. Now, so now heap is memory allocation where objects will store. Okay, so this is the area where objects are created, are getting created. So we will just see, so what is an object, how, what is the syntax to create a Java. But for now you can just understand method area is one of the memory block which can be used to store your class code. So when I say class code, it comes variables, it comes method, it comes group of data which we are storing. Okay, so now heap. What is a heap? Heap is responsible to load or store the objects which we are using to that particular class. Now, Java stacks is a supporting memory. So when we say method area, all the methods or class code we are going to store in this area. So now Java stack is acting as a buffering memory area. So whenever we are executing the program, if this method area requires extra space, it will provide. It is acting as a supporting area to this block. Okay, Java stacks. Again, these are all memory areas which will coordinate internally with each other. As I said, dependent on each other to execute the Java program. So now PC register, program counter. What does it mean by PC? Program counter register. Meaning this, you are storing this, you are storing this, you are storing this. But for all this data, there should be an address. Address. So this address, it stores address instructions here. So memory address instructions in PC registers. Okay, so you are storing some data here, you are storing some data. So what is the address? So it will give the number. So we are storing. So as I said, no, home is the best. So we are staying in living room. Sometimes we will go to kitchen, sometimes we will go to bedroom, but finally we will provide one type of address where we are staying. The same way, this PC register is nothing but your program counter register, which stores the memory address instructions here. So native method stacks. So native is nothing but outside of Java. Sometimes native method stacks is nothing but sometimes we need to depend upon other programming language methods. So if I want to use that native method stacks, native is other programming language. So other dependency or third party dependency. So what I need to do, I need to store or I need to call or I need to add some files which will support this native method stacks. Again, method stacks, again this is also one of the method area, but not from Java. So we need to use like this. So you see, right? So these are all the components. When I say JDI, okay, so now again, like there is a concept called SQL. So JDK network, NET network, So DNS, domain network system, these are all which will store here runtime data areas. Now, finally, what does it mean by runtime data areas? JVM uses this runtime data areas to assign the memory to the resources used in a program. When I say resources, variables, it will come class code. So class code is nothing but class is a combination of properties and actions. What is properties? Variables. What is a variable? We will discuss. Okay, so action. What is an action? Method. Okay, what is an action? So I am eating. I'm eating. Eating is one action. So I am talking. Talking is one action. Okay, so this is nothing but a class or a program. For now, you can consider what is a program or what is a Java program. Java program is developed or written using a class which is a combination of variables, methods, and objects. Now, now once the memory allocation is done, so two stages we covered. One is loaded dot class file, verified dot class file. Now after that, what we did? So allotted memory to the dot class file. Now after that, now we need to execute. So now once we got the memory allocation, so now I need to execute. So as I said, interpreter we are using. Java is one of the programming language which uses both compiler as well as interpreter. Okay. So now we know. So what is the difference between compiler and interpreter? Functionality is same, but difference is compiler, even if you are writing, now you see, right? 3 lines you have written. So whenever you are compile this program, internally what happens? It will take and it will convert all these programs, I mean all the steps into machine language, sorry, bytecode instructions. I mean, compiler will generate bytecode instructions at a time. But interpreter functionality is also same. But what happens? It will process line by line, line by line, line by line. So this is a drawback. So it reduces, interpreter reduces the execution speed of the program. Execution speed of the program. Why? We have 3 lines. So it will process first line, second line, third line. Assume we have 10, 15 lines. So 10, 15 lines, it takes time. Assume we have 70 or 80 lines, which is having multiple classes. Now it takes time. So definitely it reduces the execution because the behavior of interpreter is line by line execution, not as a whole. So what JavaSoft people has written is they have written one more program to increase the speed of the execution of the interpreter. What does it mean? JIT compiler, just in time. To increase the speed of the execution, they have written one more program, and that program they have added to interpreter. Why? Is to increase the speed of the execution by considering the behavior of the interpreter. Because why do we need interpreter? Because compiler job is to generate dot class file only, but I need to run the program to get the results. I need to run the program where I can fill the details in a web application so that it will generate me results. It will connect to third party software called database or any repository. All these things it should work, no? So that is the reason this one. So what is the reason? JIT compiler, this is one of the program added to interpreter to execute or to increase the speed of the execution. Now again, as I said, native method interface and native method libraries are similar to this one, similar to Java stacks. So someone are using anything. So I'm getting these lines. Okay, so native method interface and native method libraries are required to support this native method stacks. Now again, to execute and to perform all these operations, who is playing a key role? Your platform. So operating system. So I have not mentioned processor, but finally, now even if you go here, so hardware platform. So you are executing your program, right? Successfully. So who is providing the resources from backend? Who is providing the resource? So your operating system, I mean your system configuration is allowing us to or to execute or to run your program. I don't know why it came all of a sudden yellow. Okay. So now, next, any queries still here? So I'll just pause it and let me just, do we have any queries in chat? I'm stopping sharing screen. Okay, this is something else, not related with the concept. I'm resharing. Okay, so let me just reshare. Because if I want to read a chat, automatically I will disconnect sometimes. That's why I need to stop sharing the screen. Okay, so now after that, what we need to do? So we have just now, we have discussed individually. So now JDK is individually we have discussed. So JRE individual part we have discussed. JVM individual part we have discussed. So but finally, all these three resources are components helps internally to drive your program, to drive your application from the software. Now let us see how all these three components works together. Those who are preparing for an interview or those who are fresher, these components are really important. Okay, these components, the terminologies, we will use these terminologies whenever I will start a new concept in object oriented futures. Okay, so just try to understand the terminologies. What is JVM, what is JRE, what is JDK? If I want to write a program, what is a class? Okay, so now let us just take, so how JVM, JRE, JDK work together. Now the same way already we discussed. So already we, again, this is a part of the flow of your Java program. So what we did before going to dig here, so what we did here yesterday, so now we discussed multiple stages of your Java program. So what we did, we have created one Java file. Okay, one Java file. So now one class we have created. We have written some kind of a statements. This is nothing but your source code. Now what we need to do? So from source code, from .java file to .class file. So this is the first stage. What are we doing here? So we are doing the compilation, which is the first step. So now what it will do? It will generate the .class file. Now the query will come. So why do we need to go for a compiler? Why can't we run the program directly? So the same thing. If we run the program directly, the Java resources or the Java components like a runtime environment or a JVM will not execute. When I say will not execute, automatically you see these kind of an errors. So this is the rule basically. If you want to execute your program, compile it. First of all, you compile it. After that, some file it generated. This is the first stage. First stage, we have written program. Now second stage, compiled the program. We got the .class file. Now here, now execute this. Now you are running the program. So when you run this program, the expectation here is you see the output, whether that is uh, valid output or invalid error, anything. So but some kind of a response you are seeing whenever you execute the program. Okay, so now let me just go back. Now before going to that architecture level, now let me just remove this. Now let me just remove this. So now let me just remove this. Okay, so now when I remove this, what is happened here? So you see some kind of a red font symbols here. Okay, so now let me just save this. Okay, now let me recompile because I modified something. So now let me recompile the program. Now I'm recompiling the program. Now you see what happens? We got the response from Java C tool. Java C is nothing but your Java compiler because this is a syntax error. Okay, so now what is the error? How the error will be look like? You see, right? So Java C file name.java, we got this. Line number 3, error expected. So meaning this, you have written this step but forgot to add the semicolon, which is considered as the end of the line or end of the statement. Now the same thing we have did. So now usually programmer need to see, need to fix because we got some acknowledgement from the compiler, we need to fix. So now let me just take this. Now I have fixed one part. I have ignored the later part. Now still what I will do, I'm just giving compile now. Now when I'm to compile, so now earlier we got three errors. Now I'm just clicking this. Now you see we got two errors, meaning this is nothing but, so compiler compiled this particular step successfully, but still we have issues. Without fixing these issues, if I run, now what I do? So now you see I'm running this. So you know, right? So now if I go back here, architecture level, so there is a component called bytecode verifier. So successfully loads the class. Class will load, but bytecode verifier will fail. I'm just running this again. Now click on this. Because of these two errors, not successfully generated bytecode instructions for these two steps. Because compiler is already provided the report that two steps need to fix. Now I'm running this. Now you got this. Now you got this. How you got this? So all these things without executing, you are running this program. How come is nothing but this is the compile time error. This is the compile time error. Now we got this. Now let me just take this here. Okay. So now I'll just add one more statement. Let me just give in. So JRE. Okay. So now JVM. Now JDK. I have added one more step here. Now I have not did. So now let me run this program. I'm running this program. Just see the difference. Now you see. So what happens here? What happens? So expected, expected, expected. So meaning this is nothing but bytecode verifier is failed. The component which you have used, it failed. That's the reason IDE itself generated this expected. Expected meaning this is nothing but the main understanding here is you will get the response from the components like JRE and JVM, whether that is a positive or negative, some kind of a response we got. The same thing we are going to discuss. We discussed the same thing just now. Now, you see, right? Java source code, we have developed a dot Java file. We have written some kind of a statements. Now, this Java development kit will provide the Java compiler. Okay, so we compiled the program. It generates bytecode instructions. Yes, how it generates bytecode instructions? It generates .java file to .class file. Okay, .class file is having bytecode instructions. Now, what are we doing? Taking these bytecode instructions, you are running using Java file name. You are using some command to run the program. So now this bytecode instructions is for whom? This is for Java virtual machine. So this Java virtual machine use your JRE. JRE is nothing but some verification will go like a class loader subsystem, bytecode verifier, runtime data areas, JIT compiler in the sense to execute interpreter. I mean to utilize the interpreter, it executes. Now Java runtime environment will come whenever you execute the program like this. Whenever you execute, where is the terminal? Whenever you execute the program, you will get the acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is nothing but output, whether that is a valid or invalid. So now let me just take this. Now let me run the program again. So when I'm running this, now what happens here? So internally, all the resources it will come and it will give the response to you. Now you see here, this is the final. When runtime environment is going on, this gives you whole. So from first stage to last stage. So when I say first stage to last stage, now this is the one. So which we discussed yesterday. This is a stage. This is a total stage. So we received program output. Where are we seeing this program output? Here. Here. This is also one of the component. You see, right? Integrated development environment is everything is there. So project, so file, now execution, terminal. Now the components like when I right click, so all the components you are able to see here. Okay. So now you see here this also. Now what I'm doing, so now you can just run this here. So we can able to run also. Yesterday I have shown the same thing. So you can execute this also. Run. Okay. So now from here to here, writing the source code to program output, multiple layers used by Java. So that is the reason each and every component is dependent on other. It's not an independent, dependent on other. So now you see JIT compiler. What does it mean by JIT compiler? Why it is used? JIT is nothing but just in time. Okay. So it is a program written by Java Soft. When I say Java Soft, the team behind the Java software, what they did, they have written this program to increase the execution speed of the Java program or Java application, where they have added this JIT compiler to the interpreter, not to this component. You see, right? JIT compiler, execution engine. It is acting as a execution engine. Okay. So now these are all the basic components and basic terminologies and basic execution flow. So one program, how your program flows different stages to generate this, to generate the output. Okay, so in upcoming sessions, we will start some more concepts. So we will add some more components. So what is a variable? So again, like how to declare a variable. Basically, why do I require variable? So what are the different data types? As I mentioned here in this point, so there is a memory runtime data areas. So I said JVM will allot memory, but on what basis JVM will allot memory? How much memory it will allot? It will not like that. So for everyone, same memory, it will not allot. It will not allow. So it will allow based on the type of the data which you are storing. That is nothing but data type. In upcoming sessions, we will see all those things. Okay, so I'll just explain. So what is a program? How can we write? What are the naming conventions? As I mentioned, first steps toward program. Already we have started. This is one of the first step toward the programming language. What are the basic component, basic steps we required to write any Java program? We'll expand this. We'll add some more steps. We will create some more class files and we will see that. If you have any queries, yeah, we can take it up. So I'm done for today's class.
Yeah. Guys, if you have any technical queries regarding today's class, you can post in the chat section or unmute yourself and directly ask the instructor. Once your technical queries are finished, I will further proceed in the process of how to register to the course. Today is the final demo class. So I think we also have some new students in the class today who are raising the questions that were discussed in first 3 classes. So I will also address them and I'll also address how to register to the course. So please, any technical queries, ask in the chat section. So if no technicals, in general, so we have a question. Can you look into it?
Yeah, yeah.
We have a question from Ashish.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, the process of execution. Like we will not use in real time, we will not use. These are the basic understanding you need to understand. Okay, in real time, we will run the project, run the application, not the individual program. So individual program will come if something goes wrong, or if you want to understand the flow of the application, then we will go and we will debug or we will execute. Again, like when I say if we have a multiple classes, you see, right? In any real time, it's not about one class. So multiple classes we have. We cannot execute one line, one liner, or one line or one class we can execute. We need to execute as a whole application. Whole application. When you start the application and when you execute that application will have multiple layers like a database or the web application concepts like servlets, JSP, Spring Boot, or Hibernate. So we cannot do line by line or class by class. It's a whole project wise. We will discuss this in Java EE. Now, whatever we are going to execute, the core Java, all are standalone applications. When I say standalone, in a single class, we are going to write. But when we start Java EE, more than one class we will develop as a project. So when we say project, multiple classes we need to develop. Okay, so now each class is interdependent on other class. We will execute as a whole web application, not as a class. We will not compile. Yeah, we will not compile each and every. But this JRE, JVM, JDK, and compiler will help you how your program is behaving in the backend. What are the components supporting you to get the output successfully?
Okay. Uh, so guys, yeah, I hope most of you attended the previous three demo classes. If you haven't attended, all for your information, for the information of new students, all the live recordings will be available on our platform. Our platform credentials will be shared with you once you register to the course. And along with the recordings, we'll also be providing you material, assignments, and interview question and answers. And to be in touch with the instructor, how to raise the questions to the instructor, we have three ways. One during the class in the chat section, one in the end of the class timings. You can unmute yourself and raise the question directly. And the third one, we'll be providing you the instructor email address. So even after the classes, whenever you are working with the programs, and if you have any queries, you can directly post your query to that email address, and our instructor will try to answer you as soon as possible. And regarding the assignments, we'll also share an email address with you after registering to the course. We expect you to submit your assignments to that email address. So this is how the overall model is. And regarding how to register to the course, as you know, the total fee for the course is 20,000 Indian rupees. The first installment, that is 10,000 Indian rupees, is supposed to be paid uh, by tomorrow. Uh, and the remaining 10,000, the 50% of the fee, remaining 10,000, we expect you to pay after 30 days of our live classes. So we have 1 month of time period between the payments. So once you pay the first installment, you will be provided with the credentials to log into our platform and access our recordings, live classes, and other materials. So the payment details are shared in the chat section. You can go through it, and you can Google Pay us, you can Phone Pay us, or we are directly providing you the bank details as well. So you can follow either way to transfer the fee to us. Once you pay the fee, please WhatsApp us the screenshot of the fee to the provided WhatsApp number. I'm sharing the WhatsApp number in the chat. So please share your screenshot to the provided WhatsApp number along with your name, email, and phone number. Once you provide the screenshot and your naming details, I will register you to the course and provide you the credentials to log into the platform. So from then and onwards, you can access our recordings, materials, and live classes. If any queries, please ask in the chat section or unmute yourself. Any queries, guys? Regarding the fee, if you want to discuss, yeah, my WhatsApp number is available. Please do text me, or you can also directly call me. And timings will be 7:30 p.m. EST to 8:30 p.m. EST. Classes will be conducted from Monday to Friday. This is for the new students who joined today. And yeah, the live classes again we will be starting it from Monday. So we will be taking next 3 days, that is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, to register our students. We started receiving payments, so we expect you to pay the fee, and then we provide you the registration details, credentials to you. So next 3 days we will be spending on this, and from starting from Monday we will start our classes again. Yeah, this is our last final free demo class. From next time onwards, from Monday, we'll be starting our class to the registered students. So if there are any new students, you can also post your queries or unmute yourself to ask. Yeah. If you have no queries, then you may leave the class. Save my WhatsApp number and make sure to text me if you have any queries, or if you pay the registration fee, please text me the screenshot.
Hi, like uh, I was trying to do the phone pay and I'm getting a message like Al Shajar Technologies is not yet on phone pay. Uh,
Okay. So can you try Google Pay? Is that possible?
I don't have Google Pay account.
Okay. Can you please text me on WhatsApp? I will share another number. You can also WhatsApp.
Okay, yeah,
You can also proceed with the payment to the WhatsApp number that I shared. Uh,
yeah. I mean that's what I added like in the phone pay.
Understood. Yeah, please
Uh,
text me on WhatsApp. I will lead you further.
okay, I will do that. Yeah, yeah.
I think even if we are not on PhonePe, you can still select an option in the PhonePe to send the payment.
Uh, okay, I'm getting a message like to invite you to make the
Okay,
payment. But
understood.
I mean, like, I'm in US, so we generally don't use phone pay, so this kind of new. So
Yeah, I'll help you in the WhatsApp. Please text me there.
okay, I will do that. Okay, I will text you. Okay, yeah. Uh,